My name is Griffin Pivateau.
Okay. And where did you get your undergrad and grad school degrees, and what were they in?
I went to undergrad in Louisiana at McNeese University. I graduated in history. I wanted to plan on going to get my PhD in history. That didn't happen. I wound up in law school at the University of Texas at Austin.
Okay. And then when did you start at Spirit School of Business?
I started at the Spirit School of Business in 2009, fall 2009.
Okay, and what courses have you taught over?
I've taught most of the legal courses that we offer, starting with the introductory course, commercial transactions, international law, and employment law.
Okay. And how long is law school?
Law school is 3 years. It's quite a time commitment involved. And it is a situation where once you've committed to going to law school, you really need to stay there for 3 years, because there's no one who's going to pay you more for a year or two of law school. Your added value comes once you get that degree.
When it comes to law school, obviously it's not free. So do you mind touching on the cost of it?
Law school is costly, and there are different factors that make up the total cost. The first being tuition. Tuition is going to be high, and you cannot save yourself from high tuition by going to a public law school, because at virtually every university, the law school is on a different schedule than the rest of the university. So you will pay much more per credit hour for law school than for any other graduate degree. But there is other costs that you need to consider. And the first of it is that you are going to make this 3-year commitment. During that 3 years, it's going to be very difficult to earn money. You probably should not work at all during your first year. You may be able to take on a part-time job in your second and third years. But in law school, you have to learn a lot of things in a very short period of time. And that simply doesn't leave time for work. And then finally, there's a huge opportunity cost for law school, in that 3 years you're giving up the salary that you would have earned, but more importantly, you're giving up the knowledge and experience that you would have gained during that 3 years. So when you graduate law school, you are going to be 3 years behind the peers that you graduated with in undergrad. Law school is very competitive. It's competitive getting into law school, and it is very competitive once you're there, because you are being ranked in your class with everyone else. And in many law schools, you will know your ranking from the end of the first semester grades. You will know exactly where you rank in the class. And the fact is that people who rank at the top of the class are going to get access to interviews and to jobs. And if the grade level is not high, just getting to that interview can be difficult. And this is why I tell people that you can't really work in your law school, because your grades, they're not the only thing, but they're the most important thing by far. When it comes time to choosing law school, there are a lot of factors to consider. Foremost among those is rankings. Rankings matter. They matter because from now on, whenever you send out a resume, the first thing on that resume is going to be your education and where you went to school. And that's going to send a signal to whoever is reading that resume. But of course, geography is also important. The fact is, every law school is going to provide a quality education. Whether you go to a first-tier law school, a fourth tier, you're probably going to get a good education. However, when it comes time to getting a job, if you want to work in Oklahoma City, say, then people who go to Oklahoma City University, OCU, they'll be able to get a job in Oklahoma City because there's an alumni network. People are familiar with the school. They know that they turn out quality lawyers. However, if you want to take that OCU degree to Dallas or Houston or Seattle or Philadelphia, it's going to be much more difficult to find a job there. So rankings matter, but geography matters as well. One of the big advantages of law school is that it is in many ways a meritocracy. And what that means is that when you go to law school, no one knows anything. So the people that you go to law school will have a very different background. And so when you go to law school, you are going to be in a group of people, none of whom know much about the law. So you all start at the same level 0. All of the grading in law school is blind grading, meaning the professor does not know who you are when they are grading the test. So what this means is that everyone has an equal opportunity to shine, that it does not matter where you went to undergrad or what your previous educational background was. One thing that people may not know about law school is that grading, especially in your first year, is all done on a curve. And what that means is they will select a midpoint in that for each class, and 50% of the students will finish above that midpoint and 50% will finish below. And so this has the effect of you never being quite sure how you did in the class, because it is highly dependent on how everyone else has done in the class. You can choose various specialties within law school. You can focus on intellectual property, you can focus on transactional work, you can focus on litigation, but when you get out, it's really where you go to work that's going to determine what you wind up doing, because that's going to establish your own specialty. And so much of the decision of what kind of law to practice will wait until after you graduate.